Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today, I don't know if each one of you happen to use the bottom bin underneath your oven to store your cookie sheets, but I think we've got a much better solution that we can build in a short amount of time in your garage. Let's get started. Okay, so I don't know about you, but in our home, we've used the drawer underneath the oven for many, many years. We have a cabinet that is not being utilized right above the microwave. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make ourselves some vertical racks to where we can put all of these cookie sheets in, makes them easier to get in and out. We can see what we have, and it's just going to look nice. This is a custom cabinet. It is a 32-inch width cabinet. Inside, of course, it's a little bit smaller, and I'll show you how we deal with that. This shelf is fixed. If I had a movable shelf, what I would do is take this out, and then I could make some cuts such that I could put in some dividers, but that's not the case. So we're going to show you how to solve for that today. So let's go up top and get some measurements. We'll show you how to get started. Okay, so for this project, we're going to use 1/4 inch MDF project panel from our big box hardware store. So what I need to do is I need to take some measurements so I can determine where each one of the different dividers are going to go. I've got myself a piece of paper here and I've made a schematic of my specific box, and then we're going to make note of each one of the cuts that we need to make, keeping in mind that we've got to account for the 1/4 inch width of each one of the dividers. So I'm going to need to take a measurement of the depth. The nice thing about the project panel is the project panels come in 24-inch width. And as you can see, 24 sets me inside where the door is going to shut. So that's going to work perfect. I'll just make 24-inch be the depth that I need for each one of the dividers. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the height. And so I took the height here from bottom to top. That's how tall it's going to need to be for each one of the dividers. I want to make it slightly less. That way it will slide in and out equally or evenly. And then I also took another measurement left to right. So I've written down each one of those measurements on my schematic. The first one that is going to be important is how far do I come from either side of the box since I have this hinge. So as a general rule of thumb, what I have read is it works well if you do it at 5 inches. And so what we're going to do is at the 5-inch mark, that's going to be our first slat. And so again, if you can kind of picture, this will sit in here like this. This is just a piece of the 1/4. This will sit in here like this, be about 5 inches wide, and then it'll stop. And then at that 5-inch mark, this will be the vertical that slides in, and that makes the divider. And we're going to continue that process all the way across. So what I recommend you do is you mark at 5 inches in your cabinet, make a little mark, do the same on the other side for 5 inches. And then your first cut is going to be a width that's 5 inches. You'll slide it to the back, nail it down, and then you'll have it set perfect. Okay, so now I've marked my 5-inch mark, and my 5-inch mark is marked over here. Remember, all of this right here is going to be that 1/4 inch MDF, and it's going to be right up there at the 5-inch mark from here to here. And then what I need to do is I need to have a space that's equivalent to this 1/4 over here so I can slide in the vertical piece. And so I'm going to take my mark at the 5-inch. I'm going to line up this piece of scrap here. It's a 1/4. So So I'm going to make it just slightly wider than the 1/4 so it's easy to move in and out. You can see now I've got another mark. We'll do the same on the other side. Slightly more than the 1/4. Okay, and as you see, I now have a space for the vertical piece to slide in. Now what we need to do is determine where are we going to set the middle one. So on the middle one, we're going to start and make a measurement from the outside edge here and then the outside edge here that we've just marked. We'll mark a line to what that middle is. So in this case, we're at 19.5. And what I'm going to do is split that in half. Okay, so the width between this inside edge and then this outside edge of where the divider is going to be is 19.5. And so what I need to do to make sure that I have my divider in the very center of those two is split that in half. So that's going to be 9 3/4. So I'm going to make a mark at 9 3/4. This is going to be the center among this divider and that divider. However, remember, we have this 1/4 inch divider that we've got to account for. So if that's in the very center, what you can do is take this scrap piece and mark beside it, and that'll get you the width that you need. Or you can simply take an 1/8 off of either side and go on either side of the line that you've made. It's easier if you have a piece of scrap. Okay, so I now know this dimension here, this dimension here, and I also now need to solve for how do I get one more shelf in here in between this piece and this piece. I'm going to split that in half again. Same process. Let's measure. So I now know, based upon what my measurement is showing here, I've got 9.5 for whenever I hit the side here where this divider is going to go. So I need to split that in half. So 9.5 needs to be split in half, and that's 4 3/4. And then I'm going to need to mark an 1/8 on either side, and that's going to account for the vertical piece. And there we are. We've now determined exactly where each one of these dividers are going to sit, and it will be perfectly spaced whenever we get it done. Now what I need you to do is make your measurements, the outside here to the inside here. So this line right here, that's going to become one of the slits here. So make a measurement, write it down on your schematic, do the same over here. So you had a 5-inch one, then you have this dimension here, you'll have this dimension here, this dimension, and then that dimension. Again, make note of it on your schematic, and you need to double those because remember, you're going to put a slat on the bottom, and you're going to put a slat on the top. And then your vertical pieces will slide in once you have those affixed. Let's go out and get cutting. We'll go ahead and paint those while we're out there because it's a bit of a confined area. And then we'll come back and we'll show you how you install it and what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so let's put a little bit of double-sided tape on these pieces that are going to stick up on that bottom shelf so we can make sure we get it all aligned the way that it should before we nail it in. Okay, we're going to take the double-sided taped pieces up into the corner. Just temporarily stick those on there before we can get some of the 1/2-inch brads that I have. Right up against the edge there. All right. Let's get our divider, and we'll put the next piece in. We'll continue to space that out. Then we're going to affix it with 1/2-inch brads. We'll do a little touch-up with this Alex Fast Dry. A little touch-up paint here and there. That's it. Well, obviously, whenever you do the check twice and then cut once, I, of course, made the decorative things in the wrong spot, but you know what? It is what it is. It's going to work just fine. All right, let's take a look and see how we did. Looks pretty good. You know, for a DIY project, we're not professionals. I think it looks great. And you know, we did make that mistake where we put the half moon design in the wrong side. So what? Adds character. We're not professional wood carpenters here, but we're just doing stuff around the house. That's going to be super functional for us, and it cost us less than $75. Took a couple hours worth of work. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again soon.